morning, guys. How are you this morning? I hope that you're doing well. I hope that you're healthy at home and that you've been enjoying some time with your parents and your brothers and sisters and your friends. And if you're close and you can be with your family, I hope that you guys are able to have a safe and healthy time together. Miss Tanya misses you, but I'm so glad I get to bring you your story today. So today we're going to talk about a story that has to do with with this guy. Do you know him? Who is he? Who is this? Jesus. We've been talking about Jesus, and we've talked about how a long time ago, back in December at Christmas time, we talked about Jesus being born, and we've been telling stories about Jesus for quite some time now. And last week we talked about when Jesus died, and that was sad. But we know that Jesus came back from the dead, and he was able to live again on the earth for 40 days. And during those 40 days, he did lots of awesome things and spent some time with his disciples. And then he went right back up to heaven. And that's where Jesus is today. And we're waiting for his second coming, aren't we? So we're going to talk about Jesus today. And Jesus was actually teaching and preaching near a lake called Galilee. How many of you guys have been to a lake before? Have you? Lots of you? A group of people came with him and came to him, and they brought a man that could not hear, and he could barely talk. So can you move your mouth like you're saying something but not saying anything? Like, can you hear me? Couldn't hear me, could you? So this is this man. Look at him. He looks like a nice, friendly guy, doesn't he? He looks so friendly, but he could not hear and he could not talk. Now, the man's friends asked Jesus. They said, Jesus, can you just touch this man and make him better? Touch our friend. I don't know the friend's name. Let's give him a name. What would you name him? Go ahead and shout out. What name would you give this man? I think you've got some really good names, guys. Some really good names. Bible doesn't tell us his name, but we know that his friends loved him because they brought him to Jesus and they said, Jesus, please, Jesus, if you just will touch him, we know that you have the power to heal him. And Jesus wanted to help. So Jesus took the man away to the side, away from the crowd of people. And then Jesus put his fingers on the man's ears. Can you put your hands on your ears? Yes. And I'm going to put my hands on his ears just like Jesus did. And then Jesus touched the man's tongue, his mouth. So can you touch your mouth? Don't touch your tongue, but touch his mouth. Just like that. And then Jesus looked up to heaven. Can you look up to heaven? And he let out a sigh. Can you do that? Good job. And Jesus said, be opened. Can you say that? Say, be opened. Good job. And all of a sudden, just like that, the man started speaking clearly and he could hear. Can you believe that? He could hear. He couldn't hear anybody and he didn't have any hearing aids. And because he couldn't hear, he could not speak or speak well. But all of a sudden, Jesus laid his hands on his ears, laid his hands on his mouth, looked up at the heavens, sighed and said, be open. And he was healed. The people, the friends of the man, were amazed at Jesus' power. And Jesus has amazing powers that was gifted to him because he is God's son. And he always loves us and he's always going to care for us. And that's the important thing to always remember, guys. I hope you had enjoyed the story and you're enjoying the things that you get to do each week. Miss Tanya misses you, and I can't wait till I see you again at church, in a building, all handsome and pretty like you always are. But stay safe, stay at home, and I hope to see you soon. I'll be praying for you guys and for your family too. Love you guys. See you next time.